Wednesday, I called it hump day.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Guess what day it is?
Hump day.
Huh? Anybody? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
It's hump day.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Hump Day in the Doghouse. I am your host, Thom Abraham. We have all kinds of midweek minutia to get into today, as you know, this is the one day that we cover more than just the usual college football stories. However, you know, we do have plenty of that for you. I mean, there's no doubt about it, especially as it relates to the continuing probe into the Michigan Wolverines cheating scandal. Now, it's being reported that the ringleader of this whole sordid affair, Michigan staffer Connor Stalions, who has now been suspended by Michigan, not only purchased tickets to 12 of the other 13 Big Ten teams' games, but he also ventured into the Dirty South to buy tickets for his nefarious crew. It's not just him. He's got like a crew of guys. He's got like three or four different people that work with him on this cheating scheme. Anyway, they bought tickets to games at Alabama, Georgia, and Tennessee, plus the SEC championship game. Now, I don't think that he was just down here to see what some serious football looked like. Don't know. Of course, Kirby Smart was fantastic when he was asked about it. They asked Kirby Smart about the cheating scandal and about Michigan, you know, in the sign stealing thing. Remember, they played Michigan in the 2021 playoff and hammered them 34-11. Kirby said he didn't see any evidence that they knew Georgia's signals. It's outstanding. It's just incredible. Well, it happened again last night. I mean, you got to be kidding me here. For the 8th time in the last 9 game sevens in baseball, including 2 this week, the home team won. And this one was especially painful, or the home team lost, I should say. 8th time in the last 9 games that it was a game 7, the home team lost. And this one is really painful because, you know, in Philadelphia, they don't really take to that too well.
Let's see what people got to say.
We had home field for 2 games. 2 games. And you let them come here and beat us?
Phillies need to sell Trey Turner. That guy's a f***ing idiot. We went farther without that guy. F*** the Phillies, honestly.
Trade the whole f***ing team. This team f***ing blew today.
I want to say that I'm f***ing depressed. I had to ask 9 people for this f***ing cigarette.
Philly fans, we always stink.
Disappointment.
Oh, man, that was just straight garbage.
This sucks.
I hope they never f***ing play a baseball game again.
Fire
Topper.
Topper! What's up, man?
Feeling like I want to go lay in traffic.
All them ass motherfuckers I couldn't get a hit when we needed it.
I love how we spent $700 million for guys to go 0 for 12 combined.
Let's go Jets.
That's a good point.
I'm feeling good because, you know, we still got the birds.
Go Birds!
Go Birds.
Hit the f***ing ball, man. Come on, really? Hit the f***ing ball.
Overpaid
That.
Hey, wait, where'd you get this banana?
From a homeless guy.
Hey, how do we feel about Dancing on My Own as a song moving forward?
You got to cut it.
Time to retire. Find something new.
Still fires up the crowd.
Well, I'm pretty sure it didn't work this year, so it's got to go.
Who f***ing on? I'm crying instead of dancing!
Good song. They need to ditch that.
I don't want to hear that song ever again.
How about you shut up?
Only in Philadelphia, right? I mean, only in Philadelphia. Gotta love Philly fan. And this was predicted to happen, that they would. This is what would happen if they were tight like this, and the game was going towards. I mean, it was the last couple of innings. Philly fan was having none of it during the game, and I'm afraid that it may send my friend Chris Russo to the retirement home. Monday afternoon, I actually was listening to this live. Monday afternoon, Chris Russo had this to say about the Diamondbacks.
I've been wrong in Arizona from day one. I'm stunned to beat Milwaukee. I thought they'd get swept by the Dodgers. I never thought they'd even go back to Philly for a Game 6. I'll try it one more time. I would not be stunned if they won tonight. I would be floored. And I'll say this right now. I'll say this right now. And Bob Raceman, write it down. If they win the next 2 days, they win the next 2 games and win this series in 7 games, if they win, I will retire on the spot. I've been wrong in Arizona from day one. I'm stunned.
You don't say that, Chris. Chris, you never say that. You don't say unless you're ready to. I mean, you know what I mean? But don't do that. Jeez, man. Now, I know you're making like $5 million a year, but still, dang. Now all he's got left is that Wednesday morning hit that he does with Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. What's the name of that show? What's the name of that Stephen A. Smith show on Saturday morning or on First Take? First Take, the morning show with First Take. He gets $10,000 a week for that. He's on Wednesday morning. He does 1 hit a week on that show and gets $10,000 a week to do that. Chris, you don't say stuff like that. The Falcons will be in Nashville on Sunday to take on the Titans. We will have that game for you here on our air. And now that the Titans have traded 2-time All-Pro safety Kevin Byard, what's next? The trade deadline is Tuesday. And many think that Derrick Henry, just shy of his 30th birthday, could be next. They'd like to move DeAndre Hopkins, but no one's going to take that contract. I did see one potential trade of Ryan Tannehill. I mean, everybody's just throwing trades on the wall now. Ryan Tannehill to the Atlanta Falcons. Huh? Teresa Walker of the AP is coming up later this hour to share some intel on what's going on in Nashville, where they will start 2 quarterbacks. I don't know. I apparently the starter is going to be Malik Willis and Will Levis. They're going to start. I don't know what they're going to do. I think they should put them on the field at the same time. I think if Mike Vrabel has a sense of humor, on the first play of the game, he should have Will Levis at quarterback and Malik Willis in the slot. That would be hilarious on the very first play. He says they're both going to play. Gris has sent me sound on it, and I don't know if I have the ability. I am a technical. I'm pretty hot technically. I'm really good.
Focus on the Falcons. Yeah, good. Then we're going to talk about the Falcons. Why are you holding your hands up?
Trying to get a question.
Well, then ask the question. No, I'm just saying, like, you look ridiculous. Ask the question, Joe.
Okay, let me ask you a question. On the 2 quarterback thing, would that be
against a really good defense? We have to run the football. Whoever plays quarterback.
Okay.
Whether that's right.
Switching series, or that'd be like one guy's the starter.
No, we'll figure out the game plan as we work through the week. We may run the plays in with them. It could be by series, could be every 2 series. It could have certain things that we like. And we'll see where Ryan is, and but again, I'm excited if Ryan can't play that both. We're going to look at both of those quarterbacks, and we'll need both of them to help us win. And Falcons are doing some really good things.
You don't buy the adage that if you have 2 quarterbacks, you want to.
No, I don't buy that adage. We got 3 on the roster, and see where Ryan is with his ankle, and go from there.
I wonder if that was Joe Rexrode. That is he trying out for the Bill Belichick's job now? Is he starting to try out for the Belichick job? Well, you look ridiculous. Put your hand down. You look ridiculous. Jeez. Vrabel. At the top of the 1, did I mention Teresa Walker's coming up? Did I say that? Teresa Walker, I did? Okay. Top of the 1, David Moulton from the SEC at CBS, and Monday Night Football is back, fresh off the Alabama-Tennessee game, where he was in Tuscaloosa, and he has a home game this week of sorts with the cocktail party in his hometown of Jacksonville. How much longer will that be? I think this is the last one, and then the work on the stadium. Are they going home? We'll ask him. He was in Minnesota as well on Monday night as the 49ers lost their 2nd in a row. Is there a problem there? Is there any kind of a problem there with the 49ers? Is the NFL figuring out Brock Purdy, or did he just – Brock Purdy has to be perfect, and he made a terrible mistake late in that game, terrible choice late in that game. and then they don't win the game. They won like 16 games in a row or something, right, in the regular season, and then they lose that game. He had not lost a game. Brock Purdy's lost 2 in a row. He had not lost a game as a starter. Phone lines are open. The number is 256-576-4977. Text the show at 732-9TA-SHOW, 732-982-7469. You can use that throughout the show. We read and react to those on the air. My personal X feed is at Thom Abraham Show. Station's feed is at 97.7 ESPN. You can watch the show there. You can watch on the YouTube channel, WZZN TV. You can get the app so you can listen to all the action coming up on Friday night when we have 4 games on Friday night plus a hockey game with the home opener for your Huntsville Havoc in season number 20? 20th season? That's what they're celebrating, 20th season. Doesn't sound right because I was there, and I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me, but it's true. It's season 20. Over there in that little glass room with the slanted ceiling, playing the Platters That Matter and the Stacks of Wax, keeping us on the air, trying not to piss off the listeners. Grizz.
Who in the blue hell are you? What is your name? Detective. It doesn't matter what your name is. I'm the producer of this show. If I didn't step up, you're nowhere. I put this thing together out of spit and polish.
I think this is one of the traits of a really good producer. Keep the talent happy.
I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Now, Tom. Hey, Tom.
Testosterone high today. Testosterone, whatever the it is.
It really doesn't matter what you think. It really doesn't matter what you say.
Any of you play sports?
Grizzalicious. Stop pissing off the listeners. Will you please, the legends? Will you stop that for God's sakes? That's up to me. Let me do that.
It took year
you got
5.
Wolverine Dan all upset now because you keep playing the Phillips song. What did you do? Did you make a promo out of the Phillips song?
Yes.
Is that what you do?
Yes.
Gloria?
Gloria. And Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting. A little bit of
mixed
mix.
them together.
Little mix. Yeah.
He mixed them together
It was
a
like
little
a
bit there.
It was like a cheerleading mix, you know what I mean? It goes from like one
Wolverine-
song to the other. It's just a little pump up,
Dan's all upset,
Getting us
Remember,
ready for the football season, just
back
throughout
when
this
I was
football
in
season.
when I was in Nashville and I had Jonathan Schaefer as my producer. That was when Michigan got beat by Appalachian State. This is when Appy State was 1AA. And so for I don't know, maybe 2 months or a year, I'm not sure. Every time Wolverine Dan called the show, Schaefer would play the just a short part, what I'm screaming, he every time they called the show. So Dan was gonna, he wanted to kick Schaefer's ass. That's what it was. They were gonna fight. This was carried to one. This was like 14, 15 years ago. And so Wolverine Dan then was like in his 40s. He was like 49 years old. So as rugged as he is now, you don't want to mess with him now.
No, I don't want to mess with him now.
So as rugged as he is now, can you imagine him at 49? He was really, he was in his prime.
Oh, yeah.
He was a prime.
Making those
what
rounds.
I mean, then. Yeah.
Yeah.
So making the rounds, the legs were in good shape, walking with the mailbag.
Hit me with a
and
mailbag full of bricks instead of full of mail, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, you never know what you're going to get with Wolverine Dan back then. He'd go postal on you. So,
I like that. That went over my head.
Yeah. So it got to the point, got really bad. So it got to the point where I had to take Schaefer aside and say, okay, stop it. Just stop it. Okay. So you've been playing that promo, I guess, the Danica promo. Is that what it is? Danica? You've been playing that promo for like a day. And
a couple days. Since
maybe 2 days. It took it did, but it was on day one. You played it twice, I think. And I started taking texts. So Wolverine Dan's liable to come down there and beat your ass and then go find the Phillip.
So I shouldn't play it, you're saying?
No, I probably shouldn't play that anymore. Don't play that. So he's like, I'm going to go to Nashville and I'm going to pound the Phillip. I'm like, no, you have to go find him in Virginia. You can't look. It's the doghouse here. We dog each other, okay? Right? You got to have thick skin here. All right? We're dudes. Dudes do this to each other. You got to have thick skin. Ask LSU Lynch. Wait till he gets his butt beat by the Tide next week. You know what I mean? He's going to come in. He's going to show up like a man. Let me get the Philip in here. Philip, you're creating problems, Philip.
That's my job.
It's your role, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what? I'm telling you what.
Yeah.
I'm quoting John Wayne here, but I've had my back broke once and my hip twice. And on my worst day, I would still beat the hell out of Wolverine Danica. There you go.
I got having
trying to have a fight club here.
Having met you both, I don't think you want any of that. I'm just gonna say, you might want to hire somebody if you're gonna go down that path.
I take care of my own business.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying, I'm not promoting violence amongst the listeners. Okay, you guys want to verbally joust? That's fine. I'm not putting you in the ring. I don't know that you want.
It's like Jim and I-Man on Paul Feinbaum right here.
Oh yeah. Well, this is sports talk radio. I mean, what do you want? I mean, this is what we got. We're passionate. People are passionate about this stuff. I doubt he's listening. I think he said he was going to take a break from the show.
Because of me? Because of what I did?
Well, no, because of Philip and then what you did to encourage it.
Well,
you're egging it. You're kind of like egging it. He said, I'm taking a break from the show, so I don't even know if he's listening. He says, oh, he didn't say he was going to take a break from the station. He'll probably listen to the other shows that he likes better than mine. But he said he was going to take a break. He says, maybe I need to take a break. So he's probably not even listening.
That is a prime example of a sore loser. He was talking smack. Talking smack is so much fun. But there is a
wait. I just got a text from Jonathan Schaefer. There's no way he's actually.
Hello, I love Schaefer.
There's no way he's actually listening to the show. He just texted me, and it says, time to bring back the Appy State call. Oh, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute here. Hang on 1 second here. He can't be possibly listening to the show. Hang on a second, Philip. Hang on. Are you listening to the show right now?
No, Hunk is, and he let me know.
Oh, Hunk it. Oh, you're on the air, by the way. You know how I am. I put people on the air, what I don't even know.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Guess who's on with us? Guess who's on? You can't. You won't be able to. He can hear you. You can't hear him.
Wolverine Dan.
No, the Philip. See, this all started with the Philip because you know he's a crap starter, right? So the Philip now lives in Virginia, but he listens to the show religiously and he calls in. And what he did was he calls Wolverine Dan. He calls him Wolverine Danica. And
boy.
Yeah, and so he wrote a song. He wrote a song for Wolverine Dan.
Wait a minute. Philip wrote a song?
Yeah, he wrote a song.
He can write?
He can. I think he just started singing it without really writing anything down. But he did this song, and it's to the tune of Gloria, but it's Danica. Your team cheats. And so we were just talking about, so now he's mad. Wolverine Dan's mad. He quit the show. He said
he's quit the show before.
Yes, he has. He's taken a break. And he said, he had sent me a text. He says, this smacks of your old producer. Are we going down that path again? Your Nashville producer. And I'm like, oh, come on.
You mean his Nashville producer who's on a nationally syndicated award-winning show? Yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Smacks of him.
Yes. Yeah, it smacks of that guy.
I like my future.
That guy.
Exactly. See, yeah. My current producer just said I like my future chances. Yes, that's it. All my producers go on to much bigger and better things than me, like Damon Amendolara.
Congrats to our friend Damon Amendolara.
Yeah,
going to Sirius XM.
Yes, that's a good job by him. Woo! All right. So Joe Hunk is listening, and Joe Hunk tipped you off.
Yes.
And I thought this was like some serendipitous moment here.
Hey, Joe.
When all of a sudden, you called the show. and or you were listening, and you said, why would I think you were listening? I shouldn't have thought that you were listening to the show. All right. How's things going with your gig? Good?
Having a great time, man. Yeah, just living the country life.
Living the country life. Big time. All right, man.
Absolutely.
I do have it on my board still. I have the call. I have the Appy State call on my board here somewhere. I just have to find
Do
it.
you have all the drops of you making silly noises where I'd have you talking to yourself without you actually talking?
I have some of those, but feel free. Oh, I got that. If you got anything left in your computer, feel free to send it to me. It's probably all at the big scene.
I have an external hard drive at the house that has a bunch of your stuff on it.
That would be
including your first grandchild being born.
That was great audio there. I might have that one, but that was great. This is scary. She's 15 years old now.
I can't even imagine.
She's got her learner's permit. I mean, and she got born on the radio with us.
Yeah,
she did. She got born live on the radio with us.
Helped you win 2 awards.
That's right. Thanks to you and your great production. That's right. We won a couple of awards off of that. All right, brother. I appreciate you. Thanks for the text.
I hate to do this, but I got to run.
Yeah, you got to run. That's you. That's Schaefer. How about that, Philip? How's that for a walk down memory lane?
That was fantastic. Does he still have the call with me on the phone with you, Mets Yankees, and Carlos
I have that one.
Hits a grand slam?
Yeah.
You have that?
Yeah. I have that in my.
Can I hear that?
Not right this second. I got to find. I'll have to dig it up. Yeah, I got a lot of audio packed away here, but yes, we have that audio. That's hilarious.
That was so good. So good.
That was my producer.
Look,
yeah.
I'm really surprised that the Phillies lost. I actually
I'm stunned.
Kind of pulling for them. I thought they had this. But no, negative. Ghost Rider. So
now we get two.
Be on? Is the World Series going to be on? I don't know.
Cartoon Network,
YouTube or something. What are they doing?
They ought to put it on the Cartoon Network. It's two, so we get 2 second place teams that has no star. Neither one of them have a star. There's no star power on either team. I'll admit I watched the whole game last night because I am a seamhead and I'm a sucker for a Game 7. I watched that entire baseball game last night. I'm going to tell you the truth. I watched that game. I had the last 4 innings on tape, and I watched that on the DVR. I watched the first 5 or 6 innings. I watched hockey, watched the Bruins and the Blackhawks last night, and then after my wife fell asleep, I watched the last 4 innings of that game on the DVR, and I was stunned. It was just like, you got to be kidding me. And now we got a crap World Series that nobody's going to watch. It's going to be the lowest rated World Series in the history of the World Series.
There's no such thing as a crap World Series, dude. It is.
I'm telling you, this is
series.
Can't watch it.
It's
can't
the
watch
World
it.
Series. I don't care if Mickey Mouse is playing Donald Duck. It's the World Series.
Yeah. They screwed it up, man. Letting all
cool.
these teams in.
It doesn't matter who's there. It cool.
does. Diamondbacks
There's
and Rangers.
More excitement to me because, like, Texas has never won one. Has Tampa Bay won one?
No. Arizona's won one, though.
Okay.
Arizona beat the Yankees.
And I will say this. I did watch, if not all of that as a kid in 2001, because I did like that Arizona Diamondbacks. And those old jerseys, everything about that Diamondbacks team.
Well, they weren't old jerseys then. The team was only 5 years old at the time.
Yeah.
But it was... Yeah, I'm a big sucker for vests. I love the vests. I love when the Marlins had the vest jerseys.
We had those in Georgia.
That World Series, though, had the Yankees, and that World Series was after 9/11. So there was a lot of very poignant memories for that World Series. Remember, that's the World Series where Derek Jeter hits the home run in Game 5 and is Mr. November. Right when the clock struck midnight on October 31st, and then he hit the home run. It was the first, pitch ever in November in Major League Baseball history because the World Series was backed up because of 9/11, and that was when Michael Kay dropped the legendary line, "He's Mr. November," and then the Yankees, and it was Mariano Rivera trying to close that thing out, and who was it that gets the hit? That was Was it Gonzalez? Was it Luis
Yeah,
Gonzalez?
yeah, it was Gonzalez.
Luis Gonzalez with
the
the knock to center field. And who scored? Was it Greg Counsell that scored the winning run? Philip, do you remember? Was it Greg Counsell that came in 2001 for the Diamondbacks?
I think it was.
Yeah.
Also,
Because he's the same guy that
It was
scored
Craig
when they
Counsell.
went.
It was Craig Counsell.
Yeah.
The next Mets manager.
He's also the guy that scored the winning run for the Marlins, right, Grizz? Research that. Didn't he score the winning run for the Marlins when they won the World Series in 7 or something? It was Craig Counsell. So, you think he's going to coach the Mets?
Future manager of my Mets.
Okay.
I'm pretty jacked up about that. I think he's a solid dude.
Well, I thought
My dad
isn't he the man?
loved him.
Yeah.
When he was playing,
Yeah,
my
Edgar
dad-
Renteria hit Craig Counsell in for the Marlins.
And he scored the winning run for the Marlins, too. His daddy was a big fan of the show in Florida.
I love Craig Counsell.
He used to. Mr. Counsell used to call the show all the time. Paulie in the Cape knows. Mr. Counsell Craig Counsell's dad used to listen to the show in Florida and was a big fan of the show.
Love the stance. Ever since I was a kid, love the stance. Always
hands way over the head.
Always did it. No reason for it.
All right. Appreciate the call, Philip.
Oh, one question. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So you said you watched about half.
Yeah.
How, did you get through his college decision making stuff? Where are you at?
That's it. I'm at the end because I'm not watching any more of it, Philip. I watched as much as I could devote my life to it. But yes, I did get into the whole point of going to Oklahoma, and then he's running the option, and then he's got to go to UCLA because he can't stand running the option.
What do you think about he thought he should have actually come to Tennessee? Would have been a better fit.
Yeah, would have been a better fit.
Made a visit to Tennessee.
He would have gone to Tennessee. Would have been before.
A real quarterback instead of Peyton Manning, who never won anything.
Would they have won a national championship if Troy Aikman was there? Well, that would have been, what, 90, 89, 90, 91, something like that? We'll go back and look at Tennessee.
Factoid.
All right.
Believe it or not, when I hated Troy Aikman, when he came to the Cowboys, I hated him. I thought he sucked.
And now you got this man's crush on him.
And I wanted, what was it, Walsh?
Oh,
I wanted Walsh over Aikman. And look what I've become.
And they got him. They had him for a minute, but yeah. And now you're a Troy Aikman lover. All right, I gotta go. Let me go.
All right.
It's not NPR radio. All right. Let me get Vinny in here. Just clean up the screen. My cousin Vinny. Vincenzo, welcome in. How are you?
How are you, Tom?
Fantastic.
A couple of things. Okay, first of all, I had a great time at the ball game, the Alabama game Saturday. The tickets I got one from Baumhauer's. Thank you all so very much. It was just an unforgettable day, and I can't thank everybody involved enough. It was just something real special. And I did send pictures to
I saw that. Yeah,
the PR guy at Baumhauer's and all that. So thank you again. Secondly, do not stop playing that promo, Tom. It's priceless. I'm driving back. I drive a lot during my day.
I've never heard it. I have not heard the promo. To be honest with you, because I don't really. I'm too busy to actually listen to the radio station much, unless I'm driving back and forth to Huntsville. So I have not heard the promo. I'll have to have Grizz play it for me.
I'm driving back from. I drive a lot in my job, and I'm driving back on 565 yesterday, and there's standstill traffic. 565 going west, east is a parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that promo comes on, and I just start belly laughing in my car. People on both sides of me are looking at me like I got two heads. All right, and I am just roaring. And look, honestly, I've never met Wolverine Dan. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I wouldn't know him if he was standing beside me. And I'm sure he's a real nice guy. But that guy that Red Sox fan that goes to Fenway Park and holds up a sign that says Yankees suck, and gets the crap beat out of him, I'm sure he's a nice guy too. So you know, you got to know where you are, Dan. When you start talking about Michigan and the Detroit Lions, You got to
Yeah.
expect it. And nobody's taken more rides in the last couple of months since me and that Tyler Buckner fiasco.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Mr. Tyler Buckner. That's how you get your nickname, for those of you that don't know. Yeah.
But come on, Dan, keep your sense of humor with you. It's a lot of fun. That's
I hope
all I
he's
got,
listening.
Tom.
I appreciate you.
Anyway,
I hope
let's
he's
play
listening.
some football here or some whatever we're doing.
Okay.
I mean, I make fun of my cousin Vinny when he did that. It was a great soundbite.
We bust Vinny.
And I
we
use
bust
it.
everybody. I mean, hey, listen, let me tell you who gets busted more than anybody. It's the host. I mean, you should see the stuff I get.
Yeah.
At a text window or, on other, people critique me and say things about me all the time. And, but that's just the nature of the job. That's just how the job is. All right. Let me get a break in here. All right. When we come back, speaking of Old Home Week, when we come back, Teresa Walker, Falcons and Titans this week. And apparently Mike Vrabel's pissed off at everybody. We'll talk to her next right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey Wes, our company Fleming Roofing and Restoration specializes in commercial and residential roofing and repairs. I'm a fifth generation Huntsvillian and our family's been doing construction business in Huntsville area since 1965.
Sam, what kind of roofs does Fleming Roofing and Restoration do?
Our guys are skilled enough we can come out and address any kind of leaks or issues you might have on your commercial, on your metal roofing, on your shingles. We can do anything and we can offer you a solution to repair it or we can replace it.
Well, you guys also do insurance restoration.
Our staff has 10 plus years of experience as insurance adjusters and we really do know the inside and out of the claims process at Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Check out Fleming Roofing and Restoration online at FlemingHSV.com, or you can call or text them at 256-651-9440.
Hey Wes, we show up.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRIEND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRIEND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Are you in the market for a recreational vehicle? Do you want to get out and see more of this beautiful country? Well, imagine hearing the laughter of your little ones enjoying gooey s'mores by a cozy campfire and making lasting memories with your friends and family from the comfort of a new camper. We can make your dreams come true at Hall's RV. With over 15 years in the camping business, we know how to get our customers into the perfect camper. We have several models and floor plans here for you to choose from, both new and used. We're family owned and operated with fantastic deals and great service. Everyone wants to work with people they can trust, so come on down to Hall's RV and get the deal of a lifetime. We'll treat you right and get you on the road in the camper of your dreams. Visit us on Highway 431 in Albertville. Hall's RVs, where we sell fun. Or see us on the web at www.hallsrvsales.com.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's hunting and tailgate season and time to get serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 140 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses mated to a 10-speed transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX packs a punch, but it doesn't cost you a bunch. You can drive one for $474 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $51.66 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends October 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come test drive an F-150 STX today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Listen each Friday to the Woody Anderson Ford High School Football Scoreboard Show, powered by the Huntsville Sports Commission on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Well, then ask the question. No, I'm just saying, like, you look ridiculous. Just ask the question, Joe.
Okay, let me ask the question.
Ask the question, Joe. Somebody was a little feisty this morning. Ask the question, Joe. Is he talking to Joe Rexroad, friend of the show? Come on. All right, this segment of Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the fine attorneys at Pond Lahaki Giordano. You know, if you've had an injury at work or a motor vehicle injury or a slip and fall accident, you need to call my friends at Pond Lahaki Giordano. Not just excellent attorneys, but true advocates who will fight for you and know the ins and outs of the legal game. Call Pond Lahaki at 855-774-3838. That's 855-774-3838 or pondlahaki.com. I don't know if anybody was injured in that press conference. I'm not sure. I'm sure that Teresa Walker was there, and she covers all things Tennessee, really, for the AP. She's the bureau chief up there for the AP, and she's on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. T-Dub, welcome in. How are you?
I am good, and nobody was hurt. But it is funny that I've seen on social media some people saying, well, he seems annoyed. And it's like, you've been a coach. I mean, aren't most coaches usually annoyed in the middle of the season when they've got a losing record and, you know, you've just traded away one of your starters? Yeah. I mean, you know, what kind of a mood is he supposed to be in, I guess, is what I would ask.
I don't know how the guys handle a lot of the inane questions, and I'm not saying that was a bad question, but I'm just saying they're forced to go up there and answer the stuff, and especially right after games, and it's just, oh my, it's I give them a lot of credit for the restraint they hold, but I do have to ask, was that Joe Rexroad? He says, ask the question, Joe. It was Joe Rexroad. And Joe's a respected guy, right? I mean, he doesn't have any axe to grind with Vrabel or Vrabel with him, right?
Correct. It was more that Joe was sitting on the second row, and the sun was coming in under that porch, and Joe kind of had his hands up, and he was trying to multitask, I think, and so he's trying to shade his laptop at the same time he was trying to ask a question, and and you know how we're always stepping over each other trying to ask questions at times. So It's like, wait a minute, you're looking at a group, and for people who you've seen them sometimes on TV, but us sports guys, we're everybody's trying to get their question in, and sometimes some of my colleagues will snip off the end of a good answer because they're in such a hurry to make sure they ask their question. So it can be a bit of a frenzy at times, Tom.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And that question was about the two quarterbacks. First, let's start first things first. Is it 100%? Have they ruled Ryan Tannehill out yet? I mean, is he out yet,
Absolutely
or is he? Okay, go ahead. So they're saying there's still a chance.
Mike Vrabel, I know that the reports this morning that Will Levis is going to be the guy starting on Sunday. But let's be honest, the fact of the matter is that Mike Vrabel, that was the question I kind of asked to kick things off is, do you want to give the guy who's going to be starting all the snaps with the ones, make sure he's absolutely ready? I mean, based on the situation that this franchise is in, I've been presuming that, yes, Will Levis will start. Why? Well, we've seen Malik Willis, and the guy has 3 interceptions, has yet to throw a touchdown. He's the guy that last December, they literally signed a guy in Josh Dobbs on December 21st, brought him in, and let him start the final 2 games trying to get into the playoffs. Right. And yes, he's had an off season to try and learn and grow. But, Tom, I'll just say this. What I saw, he was in a tough situation in London, essentially, 2-minute drill, defense was coming after him. But the one thing that Mike Vrabel said in the offseason that he wanted to see progression out of Malik Willis was understanding game time situations, down and distance such. And I did not see that. They're down near the goal line. He's running east-west rather than north-south toward the goal line. And at a certain point, you have to know that. And yes, it's his second season in the NFL. He has started games. He got all 3 preseason starts because of an injury to Levis. And if it weren't for the fact that Levis missed 2 preseason games, there's something in this sport called competitive advantage. And, guess what? I'm expecting us to know exactly who the starter is for sure, officially, when Will Levis trots out onto the field. Now, Ryan Tannehill talked to us today. They put his ankle into a cast, try and settle it down, keep the swelling down. He progressed to a walking boot. He had one of those roller things, to help take the pressure off. And he did have a bye week. But when he had a similar injury a year ago, he missed 2 games. Now, the thing that might help him as they keep that door open, absolutely. I mean, at first, Vrabel said that Tannehill might do some stuff. Well, the stuff Tannehill said he'd be doing is getting treatment and then coming out to watch practice. So he'll be out on the field for part of practice, but he's not going to, it should be a DNP when the official injury report comes out. And, he was walking slowly. This is a team that has a game Thursday night next week when they go to Pittsburgh. So it's like, if you have a chance of him playing in that game, I can't see them pushing him to get onto the field on Sunday. So, I mean, they're in some interesting situations. And, there's the trade deadline next Tuesday for this team.
And I know it's really early in the season, and 2-4 is 2-4, but it looks like Jacksonville's, kicking it into high gear, and it certainly looks like the Houston Texans under DeMeco Ryans and C.J. Stroud, look to be very, very competitive. But having said all of that, even if Ryan Tannehill is in great shape, at this point in his career, to me, it feels like Matt Hasselbeck when he was with the Titans. It was like, okay, so you can get to 9-7, you can get to 8-8. Well, you're not going anywhere. And you wonder at what particular point in time you got to determine whether or not is Will Levis the future. I think they've already made that decision about Malik Willis. I mean, Malik Willis is not the future. So is Will Levis, who going into last season at Kentucky, his last season there, he was considered very, very highly and just didn't have a very good season. But you got to kind of find out what you got with that guy. You wonder at what point they just turn the page. They've already traded away Byard. Who knows what's going to happen between now and Tuesday. You almost start to think that maybe you're going to get some reps for Will Levis, even if Ryan Tannehill is healthy.
Well, the official story is that both of them will play, and I won't be surprised if they do a variation in 2019 when Ryan Tannehill replaced Marcus Mariota in the starting lineup. Remember, they used Marcus Mariota, in some goal line situations. They used his legs in some other situations. He was in the Ravens playoff win and lined up out wide, and Derrick Henry could have thrown that jump pass to him because he was wide open. And instead, they threw it to somebody else for the touchdown. So that's where they're at right now. And so I expect to see Malik Willis use his legs and do some things like that. The fun challenge is going to be, these are the other reasons why it's going to be Levis. New GM, the guy, they drafted Malik Willis last year as the 86th guy overall, and they told us, insisted, it was because he was the best player available at that time on the board. And this is a franchise now with a new GM, and guess what? They traded up to number 33 to take Will Levis. I mean, yes, you've got to see what he is now. Now, I will say this. They've got 5 division games left, and everybody thought this team, when they were 7-3 last year, were going to win a 3rd straight division title, and they ended up losing 7 straight games to end the season. It's the NFL, Tom. You never give up until it's absolutely until you're eliminated, because you just never know what's going to happen in this league.
But it feels like they gave up when they traded Byard. I mean, why do you trade that guy at this particular point in time? He's such a leader for the team. It seems like it signaled something that, okay, we're making a move here, because he didn't get so much back that it was like, oh, this is a tremendous deal, for the Titans. It seemed like kind of a wash of a deal, and yet you got rid of your best defensive player.
Well, Kevin Byard, I love him to death. I've covered him since college, Tom, at MTSU. Yeah. But the guy who led the defense in tackles and interceptions the last 2 years, he has not been his best this year. Now, it's been a little bit like that season where they were the worst, absolutely worst third down defense. It feels like maybe he was trying to do too much, and that may be why he's 30. He may have lost a half step that made him so good. And being in Philly, surrounded by a former, a fellow MTSU player and Reed Blankenship, and that team and that defense certainly needs help in their injured secondary. But the Titans needed draft stock. Okay, they only had 5 picks for next year. This gets them to 7. They did not, so they still don't have a 3rd because they traded that to go up and get Will Levis. But they need some draft capital to go along with the massive salary cap space that they're going to have next year. So, this is a team that, and Mike Vrabel did say yesterday that, he left that door open. They're going to be listening. They have to keep an eye on that future. And yet his job is also to try to win games now. Can they straddle that fence? It's not easy to do, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go forward. But, when it all comes down to it, Will Levis you've got to see what you've got in him. But it sounds like that as soon as Ryan Tannehill is healthy, he's going to be back on the field. And honestly, I think the best target for him to be back on the field is when they wrap up a 3-game road swing at Jacksonville. Because guess what? You win in Jacksonville, you are putting yourself back in the conversation, because if you win the division, you're hosting a home playoff game. Jacksonville turned around a horrible start last year and managed to get hot late, win the division, and won a playoff game. So, and in the end, that's what matters, because guess what? This is a franchise that is breaking ground next spring on a new stadium, and, it's that build for the future, win now, and I'll just say this. I'm glad it's not my job to do it. I'm just reporting on it.
Yeah. But they could also lose the next 3. And with the Falcons, the Steelers, there'll be a dog, and it'll be a dog at Tampa Bay. And then by the time you get to Jacksonville, who knows what it looks like at that point. All right, before I let you go, a lot of talk about Derrick Henry. Everybody and their brothers putting him in different uniforms to see what he would look like. He is approaching 30. He also, like Byard, doesn't exactly look like he was at his prime. And then there's DeAndre Hopkins with that, heavy-duty contract. And I don't know if they can offload that to anybody. What is your expectation? Let's say they do lose the game to the Falcons, and now they're 2-5. If that were to happen, 3-4 is so much better than 2-5. But if they're 2-5, do you see any other moves coming, before Tuesday?
Absolutely. If they lose on Sunday and they're a 1-point dog to the Atlanta Falcons, who are sitting atop the NFC South, then, absolutely. You have to, whatever you can get to build up stock capital for the future, you've got to do it. Nico Autry is a guy leading the team in sacks, has 4 tackles for loss. He's a guy that in the final year of his deal, somebody might want to have him on their team as well. So I know I've got a lot of people adding me on social media saying, trade Ryan Tannehill. And it's like, do people forget how they went through 3 quarterbacks last season? You still, you're stuck with his contract at this point, and trying to offload that to somebody. Somebody would need to have a serious injury at quarterback. And on the other side of this, partly because the offensive line that they revamped completely this offseason has not been good, but Ryan's numbers this season are not good either. So, when they put up 27 points in 2 games, both at home, and other than that, they're scoring fewer points for this season than they did a year ago, Tom, and I didn't think that was possible. So, at that point, you got to be you need as much draft capital to speed up the rebuild and try to make this as quick and painless as possible. Everybody should be available that somebody will offer you a pick for. And this is not fantasy football. You're not going to get a first. You're not going to get a second. You're not going to get a third, probably, even for DeAndre Hopkins or Derrick Henry. It's just it'd be, if a fourth comes along, take it and run.
Always a pleasure. Very knowledgeable. She knows everything that's going on there. Big weekend here for the Titans and for the Falcons. The Falcons need to kind of continue to win now that they've taken that position atop the NFC South, and the Titans need it to get back into the mix in the AFC. Teresa Walker has been our guest. T-Dub, I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Tom.
All right, we'll take a break, come back, and wrap up hour number 1. It's the Tom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If you work in a dangerous or logistically intense industry, you know good training can be a challenge. There are training costs, safety concerns, and difficulty replicating real-world scenarios. There's a better way used right now in the Army and in all our armed services to better prepare our heroes, and it's available to you in your organizations. Higher Echelon's Game Development Team is revolutionizing learning in military training, dangerous industry, STEM, and sports performance domains with cutting-edge virtual training that immerses you in lifelike scenarios without the cost and safety concerns for trainees. With Higher Echelon's game-based training, you'll experience realistic simulations, precision accuracy, and unparalleled safety. Higher Echelon founder Dr. Joe Ross is retired Army who played and later coached for the cadets and puts that experience to use. His team has been building cutting-edge virtual training environments for soldiers and clients for a decade. Higher Echelon, the name you can trust for advanced training solutions. Reach out at higherechelon.com to get your free consultation. Go Higher and go Army.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high, but so is average consumer debt? Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit northalabamamortgage.com for more information.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford. It's hunting and tailgate season and time to get serious about an F-150. We've got nearly 140 to choose from, and without a doubt, one of the best F-150 values on the road today is our STX package. You get 290 hard-working horses mated to a 10-speed transmission that'll take you everywhere, from that tree stand to downtown Tuscaloosa. Body-colored bumpers, halogen headlamps, 20-inch machined aluminum wheels, and lots of tech, like a rear-view camera with dynamic hitch assist, which you boaters and RVers will love. A 2023 Woody Anderson Ford F-150 STX packs a punch, but it doesn't cost you a bunch. You can drive one for $474 a month. That's a 36-month lease with $51.66 due at signing, 0 security deposit, just tax tag title, and your good credit. Offer ends October 31st. Call 539-9441 for complete details. Come test drive an F-150 STX today. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s. Some of us should make it into the lower 80s, well above where we should be this time of year. We should only be climbing into the lower 70s. We're dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s through the overnight and early Thursday morning. A little more cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny sky. Still temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. Temperatures hanging out in the low 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You've got it locked on your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Nick Saban Show. This is Eli Gold, and this is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Wait, is it Saturday morning? No, he just throws me off.
Welcome to Bassmaster Radio.
You need to use the orthopedic specialist that pretty much every high school in the region uses. That's TOC Sports. When you have that injury, any kind of orthopedic injury, also the Alabama A&M and Huntsville Havoc rely on TOC as well. It doesn't have to be a sports injury, though, even if it's a work accident or maybe you're just aging and breaking down, something's getting sore. TOC has the right specialist for you. They are North Alabama's largest sports medicine provider. It's TOC Sports. Stay in the game with their friends at TOC Sports. I was happy to hear that Joe Hunk, our friend Joe Hunk, was listening to the show. He's the one who passed the info on to Jonathan Schaefer. Schaefer is now producing a national country music show. I forget which one it is, but it's some country music show that's a nationally syndicated show that he's working on. So that's what he was referring to. But it was good that Joe Hunk was. I did have one concern, Grizz. I don't know if you saw this or not. I saw a picture of Joe Hunk, and he had a Tennessee Volunteer hat on.
Oh yeah.
Now I know he's working in Nashville. I get that, but he's a huge Auburn fan. I mean, he's an Auburn fan through and through.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was in Montgomery, it was all about Auburn. He's an Auburn guy. When he was here, it was Auburn.
He follows
I'm just saying, Auburn.
He's always been I feel like he's always been a Tennessee Volunteer, though.
No. I don't know where you guys are getting at.
Yeah.
My son said the same thing. I'm like, Joe Hunk has not always got a Power T hat on. Listen, you can do certain things in certain sports, but in college football, in the SEC, you cannot wear two hats. I am sorry.
It's like two NFL teams. I'm sorry, you can't do it.
No, I think you can, two NFL teams. Honestly, I think you can. I have an Atlanta Falcons hat. I have an Oakland Raiders hat.
I got made fun of because I didn't have a team.
Kansas City Chiefs hat. There's just hats, that I like. I have a Buffalo Bills hat. I got many Green Bay Packers hats.
I can see that because I have many hats like that too.
I got hats.
Yeah, I've got hats.
I have two baseball team hats. I've got a Yankees hat and I got a Braves hat. But I'll
be wearing my Diamondbacks hat.
I have one set. I actually have Diamondbacks hat too because my son played for a team called
I got one in a Colorado Walmart.
Snakes or something. Yeah, he was my son played on a youth team that was like the Snakes or something that had the Diamondback. I've got one college football hat, and you know what that is. We'll be back with David Moulton.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. It's official. The Giants have hired Bob Melvin as their manager. The Padres had granted him permission to interview with San Francisco earlier this week. The Diamondbacks on to the World Series, where they will be underdogs for a fourth straight series when they take on the Rangers. Arizona, a plus 143 underdog to Texas, according to Caesar Sportsbook. Game 1 Friday, 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio. Part 2 of NBA opening night tonight includes an ESPN doubleheader. Starts off with the Knicks and Celtics at 7 Eastern, followed by Spurs and Mavericks at 9:30 Eastern, a game that will mark the NBA debut of the top overall pick in the draft, San Antonio's Victor Wembanyama. Sources tell ESPN's Pete Thamel the American Athletic Conference voted to add Army into the league as a football-only member. The sides are working together toward Army joining that conference beginning in 2024.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
There's the phone and no one to answer.
256-576-4977.
And as a result, we got many, many phone calls and letters.
Give us a call on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline today. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The opinions of Thom Abraham are not necessarily the opinions of the radio station or anybody associated with the radio station or ownership. These are strictly his own opinions, and sometimes they're not even his opinions.
You need to be more like a dog.
Like what you guys are doing. You've got your fingertip on the pulse of your listeners. You guys know what they're talking about.
Be a dog.
God bless the show. You are the Messiah.
We need more dogs.
This is the best show on radio.
The big dog, Thom Abraham, is here with you.
Hey, I see you. I see you, dog.
So settle in and get your bark on.
That's my dog.
Now live. Here he is, the big dog.
Let's go, baby!
Thom Abraham.
How you doing? 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 How you doing?
Look, I don't speak Spanish.
I don't know how to say this, so I'm going to choose my words very carefully. I think you're a psycho.
Do you know who I am?
I mean, that guy sounds like El McPherson farting into Miles Davis' trumpet.
I guess I'm on here. Am I on? Can somebody respond? Get off my lawn.
I have to drag my Yankee ass out of here.
Welcome back. Second hour of the Thom Abraham Show. This segment of the show is brought to you by North Alabama Mortgage. They've been bringing us David Moulton for a couple of years now, and whether you're in Alabama or Tennessee or in Florida, North Alabama Mortgage has you covered for all your mortgage needs. Now, listen, I know that you heard about the rates and home mortgage rates and so on. I know the rates are high. But you know what else is high is the equity in your home. And you could use the high equity in your home to pay off consumer debt or student loans or whatever. And then you can refi when the rates drop. Because you know what the rates aren't? The rates aren't as high as those credit card rates that you got. All right. And look, if you're doing some home improvements, if you're thinking about that, use the equity in the house now, refi later. And if you're interested in buying an investment property or a second home on the lake or the beach, like David Moulton would, or up in the mountains, we got the program to make that happen at North Alabama Mortgage, all right? So that's in Tennessee, that's in Alabama, and that is in Florida. No mountains in Florida, but, you might want to be thinking about a mountain home in, northeast Alabama, where it's beautiful, or anywhere in Tennessee where they get the beautiful mountains as well. So North Alabama Mortgage will help you out with that. All right, listen, and before we get to David, let's dial it down a bit, okay? Can we just dial it down a little bit with the listener on listener hate? All right, this is I know that Paul Feinbaum follows me, and I know a lot of you have been trained by listening to the Paul Feinbaum show, but we got to just dial it back just a hair. Let's just dial it back just a hair, because we don't need violence between listeners. So stop calling each other out. We're not going to have any fights. We're not going to have, like at the Christmas party, a ring set up where you guys can box. We're not going to do that, okay? So just everybody calm down a little bit. Hate week is over.
There is dodgeball.
We can play dodgeball, maybe. Maybe we could do dodgeball. Maybe, and the Christmas party's at the trampoline park, so maybe they can jump over each other on the trampoline park or something. I don't know. But just dial it back a little bit, people. All right? David Moulton joins us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. David, welcome to the show. How are you?
Well, I'm good. Now, what about the level of violence between the host and the guest? Okay, what's our level allowed to be at?
Oh, I think we can go at it full force. I mean, I think there's no doubt about that. We can go hard. I mean, there's no doubt there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, what's happened is our resident Michigan fan that is a huge Michigan fan is having a real hard. Yeah, Wolverine Dan. He's having a real hard time dealing with the cheating scandal. You know what I mean? And it is creating issues. And he's also, of course, because he's a Michigan fan, he's also a Detroit Lions fan, and they got their head handed to them by the Ravens. It's a bad week for him right now. It's a bad week. And then we got other listeners, particularly a listener in Virginia, who basically wrote a song about the Michigan cheating scandal for Wolverine Dan. And then Chad, being the needler that he is, he made it into a promo. He put it on the air. Now the Wolverine Dan guy wants to fight everybody. You know what I mean? So it's gotten out of control.
Well, I say we let Wolverine Dan pick his opponent, and we'll each film the fight from each side of the arena. Hello!
That would work out good. All right, so you were in Tuscaloosa,
yep.
And so you got to see that thing firsthand. I'm going to tell you the way it looked to me from 200 miles away. At half, I was like, this Tennessee's a better football team than Alabama. I just resigned it. I was like already kind of coming up with my narrative for the show on Monday about how Tennessee's just a better football team, and that's just the way it is. And I had never in a million years thought that can change. And I had never saw the momentum of a football game in all my years of covering, coaching, and everything else. I never saw the momentum of a football game change in 2 plays the way it changed in those first 2 plays of the second half. I felt like Alabama was leading the game 14-20 at that point. What was your thoughts?
Well, I'm not a believer in momentum, and we could get into that someday when you don't have a topic and you want to debate it. All right, but Alabama did this against A&M. A&M was up 17-10. It was only 1 score, but A&M offensively was doing really well, and then they struggled to get 50 yards in the second half. So you got to credit the Alabama coaches for the adjustments and the Alabama players, and they just went from getting whooped up front to doing the whooping. Right? To me, it was as simple as that. They couldn't run the ball offensively in the first half. First play of the second half was that 30-yard run. And then Tennessee was blocking them in the first half. Tennessee didn't block them in the second half.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And I actually tend to agree with you about momentum, but what I do believe in is confidence. And I think what happens is when they hit the 29-yard run and the 46-yard pass where the DB gets spun around and falls down, I think that there's a collective sigh of relief that comes off of that sideline and a confidence amongst the players that we're going to get this thing done. And it affected the next defensive series for Alabama. And I think that's what I'm talking. I'm more, if you want to use the term confidence as opposed to momentum, because the confidence was back.
Well, and also it affected Tennessee because then they
Right.
made the special teams error and the field position basically cost them that series. But listen, Josh Heupel's coaching decision was, I'm sorry, idiotic. I mean, you got to be kidding me. All right, I know I sound like old man Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn. You know what? Sometimes you do have to punt the ball. Sometimes you really do have to settle for the field goal. Most times you should kick the damn extra point. They got stopped on 4th and 2 feet in the first half. Why did they think they could get 4th and 5 feet in the second half? Running pretty much the same damn play. I mean, come on, with the lead on the road on your side of the field. How much money is he making? Well, it's too much, at least Saturday. My goodness. These coaches chase momentum and analytics to their failure. They really do. Come on now. You've been dominated for a half an hour. You still got the lead. You got a couple first downs. Pump the ball. Pin them deep. Take a deep breath and say, listen, if you had told me before we showed up we'd have a 3-point lead with 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, I'd have signed up for that. That was the situation. But no, he believes in momentum. He was affected by the 30 minutes leading up to that. Punt the damn ball. I'm telling you, would Alabama have won? Maybe, but the game was a toss-up at the moment Josh Heupel went for it. The game was not a toss-up after that play. It was over.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. Well, is that momentum? I mean, when you stone a team on 4th down like that, you saw the way the Tide came off the field. I mean, God, they were so fired up. That's momentum, if you will, or that's confidence or whatever it is, because that's a man play, right? I mean, when you do that, and they did it twice, when you stuff them on a play like that, that's a man play. That's a big boy pants type play, and that was where they kind of took their manhood. I thought from that point forward, they had stared down Tennessee and took their manhood away.
And we'll see if Tennessee can regroup the rest of the season, quite frankly. All right, a game this week, you need to win if you're going to, have a successful season.
Yeah.
I know you can still beat Georgia, but, if you just get back, if your 2 losses heading into the Georgia game are Florida and Alabama, that's not the worst thing in the world. What are you, 8-2 playing Georgia? Okay, when the schedule came out, you probably thought, best case scenario, we're 9-1. So, Tennessee needs to get back on the horse this week.
I had them at 9-3 at SEC Media Days in July. I felt like they'd lose the Alabama game and the Georgia game, and then there'd be some game that they would drop. Not necessarily the Florida game, but whatever. It would be some game along the way Tennessee would drop. So they've used up all of that real estate now. And, you're right. I mean, they got to take care of Kentucky. I mean, and to Kentucky needs to get their act together as well. But that game at Missouri is going to be problematic. And for Georgia, I think that Georgia could struggle a little bit with Tennessee. I'm not on this big train of Brock Bowers is out and Georgia is doomed. I don't think that that's the case. But starting with this week, the Missouri game and the Tennessee game, all of a sudden Georgia's cakewalk to 12-0 doesn't feel quite as cakewalky. What's your take?
Well, I think the Ole Miss game in between Missouri and Tennessee
that one there,
might be harder than this Saturday's game, to be honest. I mean, what does Florida do that's as good as what Georgia does? I mean, forget better. What is it that Florida does that's as good as what Georgia does? They don't.
Nothing, but it's a rivalry game. Yeah, but the rivalry game issue kind of.
It's a rivalry game, but this is the worst rivalry game that I know. Honestly, this is not the Iron Bowl. This is not Oklahoma, Texas. It's not Army, Navy. There are no good games in this. This is my 18th Florida-Georgia game. There's been 3 good games. Okay, there are very now who are Alabama or Auburn fans can off the top of their head recite 20 games. Okay? The Florida-Georgia game, it's a party is what it is.
Yeah.
It's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. We're not allowed to call it that anymore. That's what's special about this game. It's a 2-day bender. That's what's special about this game.
Ben Troop would say that there was a pretty special play, that he had in one that, when he caught that touchdown to win the game. But they were favored.
I mean, honestly, this is my 18th.
Yeah.
Georgia in 07 when they, ran out onto the field, 100 of them, and took the personal foul, and they said, that's it, enough, and then they held on to beat Florida. The next year when Urban took the timeouts, up 49-10. Okay. There was a game in 2012 when they were both in the top 10, and combined they had one loss. But there were 8 turnovers in that game. Georgia won it. I mean, this is not Alabama-Auburn. We're seemingly every other year there's a memorable game. That has not been the case with Florida-Georgia. I'm telling you, I've been there.
I think people would be shocked if they knew how few times, let's say, and even in the last, let's say this century now, that we've had enough years in this century that we can call it this century and it means something. I think people would be surprised how few times this game happened with both teams ranked. I mean, it really doesn't happen a lot, where they're both ranked. Most of these games, a lot more than the majority of these games, one team is ranked. Either Florida was rolling and Georgia was unranked, or now Georgia's been rolling and Florida has been unranked. So you haven't seen, a lot of those types of games.
Right. I mean, very few times has this game been played in which you felt both teams were still in the national championship picture.
Is this the last one? Are they going home and home after this one? When do they start working on your stadium there? I know you're right there. You live down the street from the stadium. When do they start working on this thing?
No, they'll do, I think, 2 more years in this stadium, and then they'll probably shut it down for 2 years and do a home and home.
Well, I thought that work was starting sooner than that. So the work doesn't even start on the stadium.
No, because they have to agree on the financing. It's a $2 billion project. At least that's what the Jags want. Jags will pay half. And so until they agree on it, a shovel won't go in the ground.
Is there a fear that if this thing goes Gainesville and Athens, like the Iron Bowl did, Tuscaloosa and Auburn, that it'll never return to Jacksonville? Or will they get it back in there if they do this stadium job?
Well, Kirby Smart's the only one that wants to move the game. Florida doesn't want to move it at all. The city of Jacksonville basically says, name your price. Mm-hmm. And the price keeps going up, and they keep writing the checks. And so because of that, the Georgia administration's like, no, we're happy where it is. All right? But Kirby wants a home and home. And to me, the only way it changes is if one of the season ticket bases says, I look at our schedule every year or every other year, and it's not good enough for me to keep shelling out this kind of money. Can we get the Florida game or can we get the Georgia game on campus? And until that happens, I don't think the game will get moved. My hope, Tom, is they would go 1-1-1, home, away, neutral.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see happen to this. But the city of Jacksonville pays each school almost double what each school would make if they hosted the game.
Wow. I didn't realize the payout was that big. David Moulton with us here talking about the Georgia-Florida game right now, where he'll be with CBS coming up this weekend. Georgia's a 2-touchdown favorite. Some places got it as high as 15 now. Is there anything Florida can do that can hang with them? Because it is a little bit rich of a number, and with Brock Bowers out. Can Florida do anything to hang a little bit?
Well, they're going to have to play defensively like they played the first 4 weeks of the year. Loss at Utah was that first play of the game, 2 DBs blow a double coverage, and instead of getting an interception, they give up a 75-yard touchdown. The rest of the game, they gave up 200 yards to Utah. Then 2 weeks later, they kicked the tar out of Tennessee. I mean, they did Tennessee for 4 quarters what Alabama did to them in the second half.
Right.
All right, and then that defense has disappeared the last 3 weeks. Kentucky running, South Carolina throwing has just shredded it. So the defense of the first 4 weeks has to show up. I think, Tom, their only chance is to be unbelievably aggressive, to go after Georgia and realize they don't have a Brock Bowers anymore. They don't have anybody who deserves a double team. We can put an extra guy in the box. We can send an extra guy at the quarterback, and to be aggressive. I mean, play it the way Penn State did against Ohio State. You know, they lost because Ohio State had Marvin Harrison Jr. Georgia doesn't have one of those, okay? Now, Georgia's quarterback's better than the Ohio State quarterback, and Florida's defense isn't as good as Penn State's. But schematically, Tom, that's what I would do. I would desperately try to make Georgia one-dimensional by being uber-aggressive, kind of like what the Vikings did Monday night against the Niners. Niners ran for 65 yards. All right? Florida has to do something like that. Make Georgia as close to one-dimensional as they can, and then, you know, play their A game. Tom, another thing that concerns me, and I know nobody talks about this anymore, Florida's special teams are some of the worst in the country, and Georgia's are not. And that, to me, would be a huge concern if I was Billy Napier, that I have my offense and defense playing above their, over their skis, and we give up a touchdown on special teams, because they are bad on special teams.
It's already been announced that the following week, I say you guys now, I'm going to say CBS will be in Tuscaloosa for the Alabama-LSU game. Now, I did not notice, and I don't notice, I'm embarrassed that I don't notice, but you could tell me, is that an SEC doubleheader, or are they doing a Big Ten game and then the LSU-Alabama game?
No, that's a SEC doubleheader. I believe the 2:30 Central game right now, tentatively, I don't know if it's been announced, but I think tentatively the plan is to do Missouri, Georgia.
So you guys, the A team, will be in Tuscaloosa, right? Because there was some question on the message boards here as whether or not it would be Brad and Gary in Tuscaloosa. And I'm like, no, they're going to be in Tuscaloosa. That makes sense?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the scenario where, the Missouri-Georgia game would feel like more of a priority than LSU-Alabama. It's difficult to come up with that scenario. So, plus from a rating standpoint, Bama-LSU will do better than Georgia-Missouri. So, that Brad and Gary will be in Tuscaloosa.
Same thing is on the line for both, really. I mean, really, in a way, that'll pretty much settle things, I believe. Assuming Georgia doesn't get dumped this week, that will pretty much settle things and set up another Alabama-Georgia, SEC championship game. Yeah, it is. And you're right, it is Missouri-Georgia is the early game.
Well, and that's if Bama beats LSU. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Both teams have to win. Right, if Georgia and Alabama win that day, by that night, we'll have a pretty good sense that it's Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah. I think Bama will have damn near officially have clinched, and Georgia, I guess they could lose to both Ole Miss and Tennessee, but highly unlikely.
I got to throw it out there because we did a piece on it on Monday. Just playing, we're a week away from the first week from yesterday, right? For the first college football poll to come out, and it's not going to look anything like the last one. It never does. And every year we always say, well, it'll sort itself out. This is the last year of 14 playoff. Florida State, it looks like nobody can stop them. Michigan or Ohio State, let's say Michigan because they cheat and they're playing a game at home. Let's say they're 13-0. Florida State's 13-0. Let's say Oklahoma beats Texas again. They're 13-0. And what if Washington is 13? You're going to have 4 potential 13-0 teams. Would that negate a 12-1 SEC champion? Or are they leaving a 13-0 team home if that were to happen? That crazy scenario.
It is difficult to imagine with the 18-year run that the conference has had, if it's either Alabama or Georgia with what they have done recently, and in Bama's case, 15 years recently, that they would get left out, even with the inferior record, and even in Georgia's case with the inferior schedule. It's difficult. Are you really going to leave the 2-time defending national champion out of the playoffs? I mean, once again, it's a TV show, and no one wants to acknowledge that. So if it comes down to the Washington Huskies or the Georgia Bulldogs, or the Washington Huskies or the Crimson Tide of Alabama, where are you putting your mortgage on who gets in?
Yeah, I mean, but that's the other scenario that is not, it's not a pipe dream to think. I mean, if it's Georgia that wins, if they win out, now you got 5 13-0s. It feels like this year. Now Texas might beat Oklahoma, and then you might end up with 2 12-1s. There in the Big 12, and they might have to pound rock salt. But this year, it feels like there's nobody to push Michigan or Ohio State. And after what I saw out of Penn State, I think Michigan's going to go there and win that game. There's nobody. It feels like. I mean, out west it could get a little wonky, but it's starting to look separation. For Washington, and Florida State is Clemson now. I mean, there's nobody. I mean, can Miami beat Florida State? I don't know. It feels like there's going to be a bunch of undefeated teams or one-loss teams.
I actually think Florida has a better shot at beating Florida State than Miami because the game will be in the Swamp versus the game at Doak when they play the Canes, although Miami has a quarterback. Listen, the Pac-12 is the third best conference this year at worst, so I have a feeling that no one's going to escape unscathed there. Washington might have to play Oregon in a rematch. Oregon State's really good. Listen, we've never had, in all these years, we've never had more than 3 unbeatens from the 5 major conferences. Mm-hmm. Never. It's difficult to imagine that all of a sudden we're going to get 4 or 5 this year, with this year being more of a parity year than in many of the years past. And by parity, I don't mean average. I mean, there seems to be a lot of B-plus teams in college football this year. I would like to think over the course of a 13-week regular season that eventually, everybody gets knocked off. I mean, Texas barely lost to Oklahoma. They were -3 in turnovers. If they get a rematch, do we think they're going to lose again? Whose roster would you rather have, Texas or Oklahoma's? The answer is Texas.
If Quinn, it depends on how healthy Quinn Ewers is. But I think there's parity too. But I think the parity is amongst all these conference champions. It feels like the conferences are very top heavy. You know what I mean? So that there's going to be one from here and one from there and one from there and one from there. The Pac-12 has some parity.
I understand, but you've got programs that are going to play pressure games that they haven't played in a while. Huskies haven't played games with the pressure that they're going to play in the last 6 weeks in at least 7 years. Florida State hasn't played games like this in 8 or more years. We can go down the road here. Pipes burst. North Carolina just lost to Virginia.
Yeah.
Pipes will burst.
All right. Finally, you were in Minnesota. 49ers and Vikings, back-to-back losses for Brock Purdy and the 49ers after having that run of 14 or 15 in a row, whatever it was, in the regular season. Brock Purdy had never lost a regular season game, made a terrible decision at the end of that game. Is there an issue at all in 49er land, or is this just a speed bump along the way? Of course, they kick an easy field goal. They beat the Browns. But still, is the NFL kind of catching up a little bit with Brock Purdy? He has to play a perfect game, it seems like, for them to win.
Well, he doesn't need to be perfect, but what the NFL has done the last 2 weeks anyway is 2 defenses have taken the running game away from him and said, okay, Brock, what kind of a quarterback are you? You a complimentary guy? You a system guy? Or are you the type of guy who can put a team on its back and win games? And he's not that guy. Now, maybe he will be. And I will say, he does not throw the ball. There are those close to San Francisco who say he's still not 100% back from that elbow injury. Mm-hmm. I mean, he does not have his fastball. If he was a power pitcher throwing 95, he's throwing 90 right now. But, Tom, I think what we're seeing is that he's an athletic Jimmy Garoppolo. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what he is. He's a system guy. You've got a nice running game and you can play action. Well, he's fine. He'll run the system. He'll make the right reads, and they'll destroy people. But They had no Debo. They had no Trent Williams. They only ran for 65 yards. More of the burden was on him. And he's not that kind of quarterback. I mean, he's not. I mean, there's a reason Kyle Shanahan has desperately wanted Kirk Cousins. You saw it Monday night.
Yeah.
They'd win the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins.
Wow.
Period. It'd be over if they had Kirk Cousins.
The most disrespected guys in the NFL, Kirk Cousins. If you look at his numbers over the last 5 years, he's right there with some of the top guys in the league. All right. Before I let you go, you're a seam head like I'm a seam head. We're closet seam head type guys. Usually with baseball, though, it's only about your team or your region of the country and so on. Will David Moulton, a professional a sports talk show host, will David Moulton watch one inning of Rangers and Diamondbacks in the World Series?
I will watch every game except Game 3 because I'll be working that night.
Good for you. Good for you.
Okay, but no, it's the World Series, and, you know, once it's over, there's no baseball for 4+ months. And I can enjoy that either Texas is going to have a parade for the first time ever, or a team 2 years removed from losing 110 games is going to win the World Series. Either way, to me, that's a cool story.
No star power in the thing, so you can live without it. Do you think Joe Buck will miss it?
Back-to-back years, the 6th seed out of the National League has gone to the World Series. And what's interesting, and I know you got to go, is the wild card round was created to appease ESPN and the money they wanted to give Major League Baseball. And a report came out 2 days ago that ESPN in 2 years may opt out of covering Major League Baseball.
Wow. That's crazy. 2 second-place teams, man. I think they screwed the pooch. I think they expanded the playoffs too much. I mean, this is baseball's 162 games, and we get a tournament at the end.
Same thing with the 12-team playoff in college football, then? I mean,
no, because it's 130 teams. You know what I mean? It's 130 teams, and we got 12 baseball out of 30.
Tom, it's going to be 4 teams from the SEC and 4 teams from the Big Ten minimum every year. You can have 3rd and 4th place teams from those conferences playing for the national title.
But there'll be 72 teams.
When that happens, Chad, save the tape. Will you say the same thing when it's the 3rd place team from one conference and a 4th place team from the other playing for the college football national title?
Well, the problem with football is that you're not going to get upsets like that. You're not going to get stuff like that because it's going to be. I'll tell you what it's going to look like. It's going to look like 1AA. It's going to look like North Dakota State. You're going to let these people that have great teams into a playoff where all they got to do is win 3 games to win a national championship or 4, and it's going to look like North Dakota. You're going to end up getting a back-to-back champion or something. You watch. That's what I think it's going to happen, but we'll see. But I don't know. I got to warm myself up to Arizona and Texas in the World Series. It's going to take a minute for me. So, anyway, all right, man. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you.
No problem. And to Dan, the Michigan fan, hang in there, big fella. Hang in there. By the way, that Astros World Series title, it still counts. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. By the way, no truth to the rumor that I did send somebody to your house in Jacksonville to scout your show so that I could pick up some tips and pointers for my show.
I do that already.
So, yeah, yeah. Grizz is taping your show and then tells me what you guys say. I use your show for show prep now. Oh, by the way, they're talking about, Miller and Moulton talking about this. You might want to.
I thought the spy is the guy my wife's been spending all that time with.
May have been. You never know. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Be good.
David Moulton. All right. Let's get a break. Come back. Phone lines go open the rest of the way. Tom Abraham Show, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's nothing like the freedom you feel when you're on the water in your own boat from Freedom Marine in Guntersville. And when it's time to get your boat ready for cold weather, Freedom Marine is your best choice to winterize your boat so it's ready to go next spring. If you've been thinking about a new boat, Freedom Marine has a great selection on sale now with some of the biggest discounts they've had in a decade. For new and used boats, outboard sales, financing, service and parts, it's Freedom Marine. Highway 431 in Guntersville and online at freedommarincenter.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Are you thinking about home improvements? Well, use your equity now and refi later. Or use your equity to eliminate consumer debt forever, then refi to a lower rate and shorter term when rates drop. North Alabama Mortgage can also help you if you're thinking about buying an investment property or a second home at the lake or the beach or in the mountains. We have great programs to make that happen. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Do you have discomfort in your legs? Varicose veins can affect not only how your legs look, but how they feel. Symptoms of varicose veins include pain, swelling, aching, heaviness, and fatigue. Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville can diagnose and treat your varicose veins with the latest minimally invasive techniques. Diagnosis and treatment is covered by most insurances. Call 256-715-7151 to schedule your free screening. Go to bestveincarehuntsville.com.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
A wise man once said, if you take care of old folks and children, everything in the middle will take care of itself.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. In the next 20 years, the number of those folks over 65 years of age will more than double. In our golden years, the most important goal is to be treated with dignity and have control over doing what makes you grateful with those you love. At the Aldridge Law Firm and the Legal Town Center, we're dedicated to help you with these goals, and we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188 or online with Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Just remember, we're here to help. Whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete, we're here to help.
What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technologies. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone. The Lion's Secret.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at GenSuperstore.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s. Some of us should make it into the lower 80s, well above where we should be this time of year. We should only be climbing into the lower 70s. We're dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s through the overnight and early Thursday morning. A little more cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny sky. Still, temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. Temperatures hanging out in the low 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN. on The Zone.
New coordinators. That's as good as money, sir. New quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
Same coach.
All right, and you all may be taking the week off, all right, this week, but I'm not.
We are your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Segment of the Tom Abraham Show is brought to you by the service team at Woody Anderson Ford, experts in the service of Ford and other makes, using genuine Ford and Motorcraft parts on every Ford service job. They do tire rotations as well, wheel alignment, brake jobs, oil changes, engine tune-ups, tranny work at the service department in the Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center. And they've got your Ford and the other makes taken care of. Go to WoodyAndersonFord.com, learn more. WoodyAndersonFord.com to make an appointment. The only place I've gone to in the Tennessee Valley since 2004 is Woody Anderson Ford. You need to do the same thing. Phone lines are open. 256-576-4977 will get you into the show. Grizz, you know, I thought Mike Johnson was doing a really nice job, you know, on that morning show over there with Bo in Atlanta, right? I mean, we've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah, I haven't. I'll say something just happened. I haven't heard anything. No.
Well, he was just Mike Johnson.
Listened to him Monday morning, so.
Yeah. Well, Mike Johnson was just elected the Speaker of the House by the GOP. And so apparently he's going to have to give up. Maybe that's not the same Mike Johnson.
I don't think that's the same Mike Johnson.
Is that not the same Mike Johnson? It says Mike Johnson from Louisiana. Oh, okay. Not Mike Johnson from Alabama.
That guy has glasses, too. I don't think Mike Johnson has glasses.
He does. Okay, so this is not. So the Mike Johnson who has been elected.
I was about to say, I listened to him Monday morning. Unless this is brand new.
That was just, I was going a long way to make it funny. By the way, speaking of funny, let me just say this.
He does a really good job, by the way, on the Falcons broadcast. I will say that.
He's outstanding. Yeah. Mike's great. He's not on the broadcast, though, right? He's on the
he's on the pregame.
Pre and the post.
Pre and the post, yeah.
A topic of conversation that's going to heat up quite a bit, obviously, over the next year or two, if not sooner, is going to be who is going to be the next coach at Alabama. I mean, it has to. At some particular point in time, that topic has to become a topic. We know that. A name that a lot of people talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
A former Alabama player who won a national championship as a player. The only other guy that's got multiple national championships out there that is still coaching has officially taken himself out of the running, and I'm talking about Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney has taken himself off of the map when it comes to potentially being the next head football coach at Alabama when he uttered these words.
It's just such a terrible mindset, you know, and honestly, maybe we need to lose a few games.
What? That was Dabo Swinney talking about the fans of Clemson. Clemson. It's got 3 national championships in the history of Clemson, 2 of them happening in the last 5 years. Clemson, okay? Dabo Swinney talking about the mindset of the fans, about how winning is the most important thing and it's all about winning, said.
It's just such a terrible mindset, you know, and honestly, maybe we need to lose a few games.
Maybe we need to lose a few games? Well, he's certainly doing that. They've lost 3, and we're halfway through the season.
Can't get complacent, you know what I mean?
There is, he thinks it's a terrible mindset?
It's just such a terrible mindset, you know, and honestly.
A terrible mindset.
Honestly, maybe we need to lose a few games.
Maybe we need to lose a few games. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
If an Alabama head football coach said that maybe.
It's just such a terrible mindset, you know, and honestly, maybe we need to lose a few games.
Oh, my God.
I will say this, though. There were a couple times with Nick Saban talking about your cell phone and going off the rails a little bit, being a little nicer throughout the weeks. Yeah. I will say this. It was a little scary thinking that Nick Saban's like, is this the end? Because we're sitting here talking about it, and it was kind
of happening. I mean, it's going to happen soon.
Well, it was like even week 3 into this season, we're like, Nick Saban's gone. Like, he's gone after this year. And then they do what they're doing right now, and, you know, is he going to be sticking around for, you know, how many more years he's sticking around? So.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, but it ain't going to be this guy.
It's just such a terrible mindset, and honestly, maybe we need to lose a few games.
That's a terrible mindset.
I'm starting.
That you got to win.
Yeah, and I'm starting to believe. I do believe my cousin when he says a lot of things. He doesn't really strew me wrong in any way. But he was his wide receiver coach when he was at Alabama. Thought he was just an absolute, dirtbag. Just couldn't stand him. Just did not like him as a coach. And I can see if your coach is like this. When it's getting bad, you know what I mean, and just kind of not so much like the Shane Beamer kind of thing where you kind of throw people under the bus a little bit without taking responsibility for what you've done, what was on the field and kind of fixing it and everything like that. But it seems like Dabo's just seeing the writing on the wall. He's like, no, I'm out of here. Might as well
put Josh Heupel in
make everybody mad.
Put Josh Heupel in that class too, because Josh Heupel. Bitching and moaning and giving a 13-second pause when they ask him about the play calls. Why didn't somebody? Why didn't somebody ask him about his play calling, going for it on fourth down in the middle of the field, leading the game by 3, and giving the team momentum? Why don't you do that?
Are you ready for if possibility? Because everybody keeps talking about it. It's Lane. Are you ready for when Lane Kiffin does the same thing?
Nobody's talking about that.
Well,
who's talking about it's Lane?
Well, if it is the next guy.
Lane, but
a lot of people think it's going to possibly.
Really? I don't hear anybody say. I don't hear anybody say that it's Lane.
If it's not Lane Kiffin, then if it is Lane Kiffin going to Alabama, he pulls the same stunts like he does at Ole Miss, going for it on fourth down on certain situations when you shouldn't, not kicking a field goal or doing something stupid and everything like that. I don't even think that he's going to last long in Tuscaloosa with the way that, unless whatever his contract is and whatever the fans will be on him immediately halfway into the season.
It depends on if they're getting them all, because then they'll like the guy.
Yeah.
So I know that when my attempt at humor is bad, when Harry hits me in a text window. He said, Tom, the new Speaker of the House is a representative from Louisiana elected to the House in 2016, background constitutional lawyer, conservative. Yeah, I know, Harry. I was making a funny, okay? Mike Johnson, my former broadcast partner, and, Mike Johnson, former offensive lineman for the Alabama Crimson Tide. I was just making a funny, Harry. It's a bad attempt at humor by me, okay? Sorry. I know that Mike Johnson is a uber conservative. I like him. It's my kind of conservative. Let's get a break. When we come back, another round. Phone lines are open. You want to jump in? We'll do it next right here on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Work injuries happen in Alabama all the time, whether it's an accident at work, getting injured, lifting heavy objects, hurting your hands on a machine, or just performing the same movement over and over until your body breaks down. But when it happens, there's only one law firm to call in Alabama. That's Pond, Lehocky, Giordano. For personalized legal support, reach out to Pond Lehocky at 855-774-3838 or pondlehocky.com.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
The Lodge at Guntersville State Park. From the gorgeous long views of the lake from the Bluff Side rooms to dinner at the Pinecrest room, Guntersville State Park needs to be on your bucket list this year. What an ideal place for a family staycation or a romantic getaway. Guntersville State Park has it all. This is a great time to book your visit, and depending on the time of year, you might want to bring the clubs and take in a round at Eagle's Nest. Make plans today to visit the Lodge at Guntersville State Park. If it didn't exist, you'd have to invent it. Guntersville State Park. Thom Abraham here for my friends at North Alabama Mortgage. Did you know that average home equity is at an all-time high? But so is average consumer debt. Even though rates are higher now, you can use your equity to pay off your high consumer debt, student loans, etc., then refi when the rates drop. Don't put off that new home purchase. When rates drop, prices will go up. Buy now and get the best price and then refi when the rates drop. This is the time to talk to the experts at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com for more information.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional, in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
Is your AC system or heating unit making those sounds that go bump in the middle of the night? Thomas here from Talon Heating and Air again. Thomas, you guys are just a phone call away from keeping those ghosts and goblins from causing nightmare problems.
That's right. We're offering a $59 special right now to do a heating tune-up. That's getting your air conditioner or your heater ready for the wintertime. We're also doing a free gas safety inspection along with that. So if you have gas in your home, we have Master Gas here on staff. We're certified with the state to take care of all your gas issues. So we're going to throw that in with that $59 tune-up.
And if you can get that tune-up now, it'll be ready to go once the cold temperature set in.
That's right. Yeah, all you have to do is give us a call at 256-503-4490. Visit us at our website, talenthvac.com. We'll be more than happy to get out there and get you tuned up.
One more time with the phone number.
256-503-4490.
Talent Heating and Air. Don't let those heating and cooling units go bump in the night.
AL cert number 21014.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 70s. Some of us should make it into the lower 80s, well above where we should be this time of year. We should only be climbing into the lower 70s. We're dropping into the upper 50s, lower 60s through the overnight and early Thursday morning. A little more cloud cover through Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny sky. Still temperatures climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s, dropping into the low 60s through the overnight. A mostly cloudy sky for your Friday. Temperatures hanging out in the low 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Join us every week for Alabama football right here.
Listen to Alabama football all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Well, I've seen the devil's shadow underneath the moon. Keep that fire going. The sun is coming soon. I will swing my axe.
Segment of the show is brought to you by the fine folks at Valley Equipment Rental. Ross Roberts and his team, local in every way. And, you know, you need to do what we do. When you need a piece of equipment to get the job done right, you go to Valley Equipment Rental with their two locations, one on the North Parkway, one on the South Parkway. They got more lifts and excavators and skid steers, and they got dozers, they got big excavators, they got mini X's, and they got some nice big lulls, some great lifts. We'll be using one of them this weekend to do a job because that's where you go. You go to Valley Equipment Rental, and you can do the same with Valley Equipment Rental. Check them out, North and South Parkway. Get your job done like a pro. Redneck Romeo is up. Redneck Romeo, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. Nice day. I have got the football coach free. The next one is Alabama. You know who it's going to be?
Dan Lanning. Who you got?
Oh, he sort of blew that. You got a coach right now that they're experimenting with at the Houston Texans, D'Amico Ryan.
I never even went in that direction. So with a D'Amico Ryan, do you leave the NFL to coach Alabama? Wow. Does Mama call you home?
Yep, he's from Bessemer, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
20 minutes away.
Yeah.
He gets in the playoffs with the Texans, has a couple of years success. Alabama can throw out the money like the Texans. And there you go. You think about a guy, what, he's going to be maybe mid-40s, about 2 years?
much better place to live, Tuscaloosa than Houston. I mean, think about the money, whatever he's making in. First of all, he would make more at Alabama than what he's making right now at Houston without the taxes. But because I bet he's only making about $6 or $7 million a year, and they would probably throw $9 million at him, and $9 million in Tuscaloosa is like $15 million in Houston, Texas.
I think we got the Nick Saban retirement thing figured out. You know when he's going to retire?
I think
his grandson starts playing youth sports, t-ball, youth football. Is he going to be hanging out with these players? Tom, you're going through this right now, but he better be at the youth ball field.
I wonder how old his I wonder how old his grandson is now. 4? So you think a couple of years to timing it up to the grandson, huh? You think that'll be it?
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see. I think if they were to somehow win, this year, I think he'd be gone this year.
Yep. If Nick Saban, you see him out there volunteer to coach Pee Wee football, getting after those Pee Wee officials,
jumping up and down like a Mexican jumping bean, screaming at the players, screaming, "What are we doing? Come on, catch your foot on it, put your hand on the ground. You're going to get in the stands."
Could you imagine the participation that would be there? Yeah. What? My 7-year-old get caught by Nick Saban?
You know what Saban would say about youth football and the parents? He'd say,
it's just such a terrible mindset, and honestly, maybe we need to lose a few games.
Yeah. Tell the parents, hey, why? It's calm down. Maybe we need to lose a few games. Come on. There's nothing wrong with it. It's it's the way. It's the way in youth football. Lose a few games. It's good for the soul.
His body couldn't take that.
All right, man. It's a good job by you.
I could see him breaking down the parents the way that they cut the orange slices and stuff like that. It's just like it's about how we cut the orange slices, parents, coming into this game. And it just
had a major screw up, Grizz.
What happened?
Major screw up.
What's up?
My son texted me yesterday afternoon and said, Jack's last game is at 6 o'clock tonight. It's a playoff game.
Oh, you're going?
This was yesterday.
Oh.
And so, I'm thinking I'm going, right? Well, I didn't get home from Huntsville at 5:30.
Yeah.
Came up to do the commentary and completely forgot. Completely forgot. 2 hours later, Joe sends me video of my son Jack, who plays middle linebacker, on a run-through. The offensive line kind of opened up a little bit, and he runs through, sacks the quarterback, strip sack, Myles Garrett style.
Heck yeah.
Sacks the quarterback and strips it. And my heart sunk, and I'm like, oh, my God, I missed the kid's last game.
Hey, that's all right. He's got many more.
I know, but I felt awful. Awful. All right, that's going to do it. Paul is next. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Mark and Henry McDaniel, attorneys at law, are proud alumni of Madison Academy. And Madison Academy